Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Blindfold Off podcast, where we take off our blindfolds and open our eyes to new views, topics, and discussions. My name is Emmanuel LKD.
And you already know, it's your boy, Ernest. What's up, guys?
What's up, y'all? How you doing, Ernest?
I'm doing good, dude. I see you back there with the shaker bottle. You've been drinking your protein.
Yeah, bro. My protein, boy.
Your protein. Shout out, Johnny.
Shout out, Johnny.
Shout out,
Yeah, I'm trying to get big or just look good,
Just look good. Just look good. Hey, I see you repping that merch from our boy.
Yeah, hey, yo, shout out to Carlos Anthony Guzman for his Live for the Moment merch. Yo, check it out. This is one of my favorite selections from his drop. Check it out, y'all.
It's definitely really fresh. Definitely really fresh. So what you do today besides wear the Live Love for the Moment shirt?
Oh, today was my third day working at the call center, just calling people, making appointments. I was on my Will Smith, not because I felt like smacking someone, but because I had to get that determination to keep calling and oh, it's so tiring. But
he's talking about the Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith, not
Pursuit of Happiness.
Not Oscar's Will Smith.
It's such a good movie.
Oscar's Will Smith. All right, boys, ladies and gents, you already know what time it is. Without further ado, we have a really special guest that I'm really happy that he was willing to do this podcast because he has a lot of good information. He's willing to open our eyes to a new part of society that doesn't really get its recognition. And not only that, he's a great person with a great personality, and I'm really glad for you guys to get to know him. I'm glad he's allowing us to really get to know him as well. Without further ado, Travis Baker.
Let's go, yeah, clap, clap, clap.
Yo.
What's up, Travis?
What's up, man?
Talking a little bit before.
Yeah.
I know you had to take a couple of practicals today.
Yeah, just trying to catch up with everything. It's been a long last couple of weeks.
Yeah. So can you give the people a little bit elevator pitch synopsis on who you are, what you do, why you're here?
Yeah. So obviously my name is Travis Baker. I came out to Arizona 3 years ago to go to school at the U of A, specifically for wheelchair rugby. They're the best in the nation, back-to-back national champions. I was injured back in 2015, which left me as a quadriplegic. And so that's how I ended up finding all of this out here. And just been grinding. Junior, hopefully trying to finish up everything, just these last couple of weeks, get to the summer. Got this USA low point team that I've been training for, so trying to make the tournament squad for that. That's pretty much it.
How's competing? How's your mindset competing?
Oh man, I love competing. I've been one of the most competitive people out of everybody. I always go around my entire life. So I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to lose in a game of sorry or a couple of card games, and I'm just like, what do you mean you don't care if we win or not?
You get nervous at all? Do you get pre-game butterflies or pre-practice butterflies or?
Oh yeah, no, not necessarily pre-practice, but definitely pre-game butterflies, especially big game stuff. I have my whole life, and that's actually one of the best feelings that I enjoy because it's just there's not many other times, you get your body and your mind just to feel like that in that moment. And if you learn to dial it in, it can be fun, man, because then you live up to the moment. And that's what everybody wants to do.
Yeah. I know, for me, playing on big games and stadiums, it's definitely hard to kind of put your finger on what kind of emotions they are, but they're definitely good emotions.
Yeah. I'm the kind of guy that, late in the game, it's last inning, you got a guy on second, we need somebody up, 2 outs. I want to be that guy at the plate.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the biggest game you had to play in so far of your life?
I don't know. I feel like it was more segments. So, I played in a couple national championships, championships for my league when I was younger in basketball, 7th and 8th grade, and then some Cincinnati tournaments that we were in. And then in high school, we went to state, played in the state semis. So that was a pretty big game, a couple of regional finals. And then just recently, we just competed in the national championships for the U of A wheelchair rugby team.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. How many, is it crazy having a big stadium with a bunch of people in it? Just watching you guys on?
It's cool, man. It's been a while since I've had it.
What's up? So at Bethany at the college, we played in a pretty big stadium, and kind of like being in the batter's box, you don't really grasp it until you turn around and you see everybody like looking at you. Yeah. And you're like, dang, all these people are here to watch our team play against the other team. Like it's pretty surreal. Like they're taking time out of their day to go watch you guys. Like,
yeah, no, it's cool. That's so since my injury, I really haven't had like a big sports moment. It's just like my old team was not very good. So I don't even know if they've actually been to nationals ever in the history of the organization. But so I came out here and we eventually made it for the championship game, and they announced us as we came in, and they had like these sparklers going off and the whole crowd was in there, and then they had the music that we rolled into. It was cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's dope.
Yeah.
So was it after your injury that you got to experience to be able to play in these big stadiums, or did you have any experiences before your injury too?
So I had a little bit before, specifically for baseball. Yeah. So the biggest one, I mean, we did like different college tour tournaments where we would go to different states and, play in Division I colleges, like at their stadiums for different tours.
Yeah.
But the biggest one was probably for my high school when we competed in the state semis my junior year. We went up and it was the Huntington Park Stadium up in Columbus. And I believe it's one of the minor league teams up there, maybe an independent team. So it sat a ton of people, and the stands were filled. We got to stay in a really nice hotel right downtown.
Oh, dude, those moments are like ones you're never going to forget too.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like a moment that's like synonymous with the feeling as well. Because you're like, dang, like the feeling of just being there and kind of letting it sink in. Like sometimes even after the game, you don't even get time to let it sink in because you got to get on the bus. Like, especially if you lose, everybody's like pissed.
Oh, yeah. You're so mad and just bummed, especially if like it happened on some crazy. Like we ended up losing. We sat for a 4-hour rain delay and ended up losing on a walk-off hit in the last inning.
Dude, that's the fucking worst.
Oh man,
dude, that is the fucking worst. Did your pitcher? Did the pitcher how many innings was it before the rain delay, or was it?
We didn't even get to start the game yet.
Oh, you didn't even start the game yet?
No, yeah, we got to the field and we were doing all of our stuff. Now the nice part was that because it was such a nice stadium, they had like locker rooms and everything back there, like lounge areas with TVs and whatever. And then they had like, your different nets and batting cages. So you could get up, hit a little bit of BP if you wanted to, or just go chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it being a part of these guys in the Olympic wheelchair, like rugby team, especially like you're training with them? How is it? Are they kind of like, I feel like those types of people, they have like this type of Jordan or Kobe mindset where it's like they have Kobe and they have like the Mamba, and immediately you step on the court like it's all Mamba, and they turn it on.
Oh yeah, that is exactly what it is. It's all type A alpha personalities. Like how I was talking about how competitive everyone that's at that level is just as competitive as me. Like we all ended up getting pissed off at each other sometimes because we can't even, like it'll be just a silly practice drill and we're competing with each other. Like, yeah, but I want to win.
Yeah, of course, dude. Yeah. You can't. Like, there's like a certain type of. It's not. You don't really want to say it, but it is ego because you're like, damn. Because if I lose, like, he's got that against me. Honestly.
Right? Yeah. Yep.
And with those type A's too, it's like, it's kind of like they always keep a memory bank of like wins and losses. They remember absolutely.
Oh yeah. Everything. Oh yeah. Well, so that was one of the problems that we started getting into. Me and this one guy, we're the same age, and we're both extremely competitive. Probably one of the worst on the team. And we would be going in. It was kind of like a head-to-head drill, but he has more function, so it was more like 2 against 1 against him. And we would get stopped, and I'd go, "That's +1," you know, and then he would get one, then he'd be like, that's +1 for me or something, you know. But we would get so mad at each other that we had to stop doing it. So,
dude, it's the worst when you have like a shitty day, then you know that dude's annoying. He's gonna say it, and you're like,
man,
you're like, bro, just shut up, please. You're like, please shut up.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever fought? Have they gotten the point where you guys fought?
No, nothing fist straight up, but we definitely argued. Actually, that day I went to reach for the ball, and then I got my arm caught, and then he pushed through, and then I bared down, you know, and when I bared down, I kind of cranked his jaw a little bit.
Ooh.
So
how does that look like? Can you?
I don't know. So I like reached out to the side. I don't know if you can see me. So I reached out to the side like this to try to swipe the ball away, and then he tried to push through me. So I just bared down like that.
Oh,
and my glove that was on my hand kind of had him here and just like turned his head. So
dang.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
What kind of glove are you? What kind of gloves are you guys wearing playing wheelchair rugby? Because I remember watching it. I watched some of Murder Ball, and I watched the 2016 Australia versus USA. I watched that too. And I don't know what kind of gloves you guys are wearing. That's what I wanted to ask too.
Oh, yeah, aren't they like
it's
sticky?
all kind of different. So the gloves themselves, you can buy sticky ones, but most of the time we tape so much over top the gloves. They have so much abrasion that they have to take. So like a lot of guys, they'll do reverse tape so that the tape is sticky, or they'll reverse duct tape, or like a lot of the low pointers, we just use like different variations of rubber, and then the wheels, the rubber just contacts with the wheels, and that's how we use it. But we do use this stickum stuff. It's spider tack, which is what the strongmen use when they do the Atlas stones. So we put that on our gloves, and then we put it all over our wheels, and then it helps just make sure that we're not slipping or anything.
Right.
Is that allowed, or is that kind of like a thing the players do?
No, it's allowed. They don't like to. I don't know internationally actually, but a lot of the tournaments they don't like you bringing them because it can dirty up the floor and stuff. So they try to say like leave it in the locker room or something. But
doesn't that stuff get on the floor though? So let's say like you stick and you like plant and you roll again. Do people end up falling over and kind of like tumbling because of it?
No, it's more so on the outside of the wheel where you're pushing. It's not on the tire. So like the stuff, like you'll get like scuff marks or like little pieces of rubber on the floor. So that's what they don't like. Or like sometimes if it gets dumped over or something. But for the most part, we keep it off of our tires. Yeah.
Since we're on the topic of wheelchair rugby, can we take like a few steps back about how you got introduced to wheelchair rugby and how you got started?
Yeah. I was actually, so I did all kinds of therapy post-injury at different places. Did some down in Atlanta. I did some in my hometown in Cincinnati. And then I actually did a program up at Ohio State. And while I was up there, I would go to therapy, and then there was a little like parks and rec center that I would go lift because I like lifting on top of the therapy. And while I was there, one of the guys that was working there was a quad, and he actually was the coach, and he noticed just by looking at my hands and me working out, he said, "Hey man, you got this thing called wheelchair rugby. You want to come try it out?" And I was like, "Oh, I've heard of that." While I was down at Shepherd, I watched some of the guys play, and I was like, "Oh yeah, dude." So went there to practice one Sunday morning and just fell absolutely in love. Yeah.
It sounds like fun.
That's dope. Oh, man.
Yeah. Can we ask about your injury? Like, how were you injured? Like, when did it happen? Like, what was kind of like everything going on at that time?
Yeah. So I was 19. Had just been working full time, got hired at a new job for 3 weeks. Was loving life, honestly, you know, like was digging it, was planning to go back to school, and went up to Cedar Point one day which is a big roller coaster amusement park. And on our drive back, I had to open up the gym the next morning. So went to sleep in the back, and then we got hit by a drunk driver and flipped our car and then threw me out. And I broke my neck in the process. And yeah.
Shit. I'm sorry.
So, no, it's, you know, it happens. Happens more than it should, but
it does.
Yeah.
Like oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh,
go ahead.
That's just kind of tough. Well, obviously, like How long did the rehab process take?
And that took forever. Like until I became independent, it probably took like a year and a half to 2 years straight of just working my ass off 6-7 days a week, year round, just nonstop doing what I could do. Like I did like more like cycles or segmented where I would do therapy and learn a lot of the stuff that I needed to work on and get better at. And then once I learned how to do that stuff, I would try to lift and gain the muscle in order to make it easy. And then once I was ready, started something new, you know? So it took me a while. Rugby actually was my first ever independent trip away from home.
Oh, really?
Just pretty much, yeah. My teammates were like, dude, come on, man. Like, this is how everybody does it. And just threw myself to them. And they're like, we got you. Drove a 6-hour trip with me and one of the other guys to Chicago, and never looked back.
What are kind of like some of the first steps like you did during rehab, if you could remember?
So, man, I was pretty injured. So I remember early on, like I couldn't move my arms, you know, which I think happens to a lot of people, just as like a shock factor. And then after they start to regain a little bit of function, I guess it also depends on how severe your injury is, but it took me a long time to even be able to put on my shirt. I remember getting to Drake, which was the rehab center I went to, and it's like 3 weeks, maybe or a month post injury. And my PT came in. She's like, all right, we're going to try to put on a shirt today. My family was there, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. And I tried for 45 minutes to get my arms in the sleeves, and I couldn't even get it over my head. And actually talked to my dad about it later on, and he goes, dude, man, it's like, I'll be honest with you, I never thought you were going to be able to put your shirt on ever again. So, and then just kept working from there, you know, just building up my shoulders, since that's where I had the most function, and trying to, you know, as you regain function up to like really mainly within the first year, and then up to like 2 years out. And then from that, you just kind of try to build muscle on top of what you have, and then go from there.
How was it mentally? Did you kind of have like a denial like stage, or like grieving because you were like, or were you just like, damn, like I was grateful for like what I have, or was it more like I'm grateful like I'm still alive?
It was kind of a little bit of everything. I didn't really have like a denial stage or like a stage of grieving, so to speak. It was more so like I would have a couple of bad days here or there. So, you know, like just different times, wouldn't even be a day necessarily, but you do have it to where like you'll have an injury specific thing, and then it can ruin your day for you. So you have those, but for the most part, I just like, you know, I guess it was my competitiveness, my stubbornness looked at it as another challenge. So I was like, fuck it. Let's fucking get on the horse and let's go again.
It's almost a blessing in a way that you had that competitive mindset to just kind of reinforce you to keep going.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it was just, it was a whole, like a lot of people grieve and they do things differently. And I got asked while I was inpatient still to go talk to somebody else who just got in there, and he actually had more function than I did, and he didn't realize that, but I did, just because I was paying attention. I had a couple weeks out, and I was the one talking to him like, yo dude, it's gonna be okay, you know, like just keep grinding. And it's just kind of funny how you go, you talk, and then I've done that at some different schools and PTs and stuff, but it always comes full circle because our whole community just always is like giving back, you know, and that's how you learn and teach.
Did you have any like mentors or people that helped you get through that time that you really want to thank? Like who were those people that like really were your rock in a way?
Everyone, dude, literally everybody. Like it takes whatever the saying is, it takes everyone, you know, to build and to do it. Like my family is probably the greatest family. I know everybody says that, but I have a very large family. We all stay really close. And the whole time I was in the hospital, I'm getting letters. You know, people are coming and visiting me from out of town. Like we're talking Tennessee to Ohio. Some people were even flying in to see me. I actually had a foreign exchange student that went to high school with, and he lives in Cancun, and he flew back while I was in the hospital and came and visited me. So it was really just a group effort.
Wow, that's real.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. My high school did like a whole prayer service for me the night of. So they all got together and they were making posts like on my social media, on my Facebook page that I didn't realize because I was, you know, going through everything. But Yeah, so it was cool. So I had a lot of support all through everywhere.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. That's honestly super. It's beautiful because it's like I love how people come together just to support one person, and it kind of like shows you like, damn, all these people love me, and there's absolutely like no
Oh
way
yeah.
like no one loves me.
Yep. Yeah, when I got injured like 2 hours away from home, so that's where I did my hospital stay because that was the closest level 1 or whatever it is helicopter ride to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And my family was driving on their work days. You know, they were coming up 2 hours there and back, and they'd stay as soon as I got off work for like 4 hours, and then drive back home, sleep 2 hours, and go into work, do the same thing.
Damn, man.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. My stepmom and my dad, they actually, because my accident happened at night, and I was in surgery for 12 hours. And so they stayed up all through the night to the next morning. They had all worked that day too before, and they were just beat, you know. And then my mom was there, and my grandparents were there, and they were like, "Yeah, just go home. Like, just you guys need some sleep." Blah blah blah. So they go home, and there's a little pizza place right across from our house. And they went in there to order some pizza to get it to go eat, and then go to sleep. And they fell asleep in the pizza place. Just got knocked right on the couch.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of a surgery did you have?
So I had my injury. I guess they described it as like a dislocation. So my neck snapped into like 2 places, and then the 1/6 just got locked in front of the 7th vertebrae. So I had like this stack of vertebrae and then this stack of vertebrae. So they tried to go in from the front, and they couldn't do what they needed to do with my spinal cord. So they had to call in another surgeon, flip me over to the back. He had to pull my spine, put it back into place with some plates and screws. Then they flipped me back over again, and they did. The neurosurgeon finished out the surgery.
So with the spine injury, I know a little bit about it. Like, isn't it the higher the level in the spine of your neck is like the more like disability you have, and like the lower is like the more ability that you have?
Yeah, so each level of like each vertebrae in your spine generally has a correlating nerve with it, and that nerve is responsible for different feeling, sensation, and motor function throughout the body. So wherever you get injured, basically from there down, you lose all of that function. So if you get injured at the very bottom of your spinal cord injury, you're only losing, from there down. But if you get injured in your neck, you're losing from all the way in your neck all the way down.
So what happens to the nerve specifically? Is it like it doesn't get clipped, but it kind of gets like shredded in a way, like to where it can't get any nerve function anymore or feeling?
It can be different depending on your injury. So like they use the terms incomplete versus complete. And complete injury is a severing of the spinal cord. So it actually was just straight severed. An incomplete might be a hard bruising, like an impact or a tear or a stretch or something. So, and then that can determine how much function you regain, or, like the actual severity of the injury itself. Yeah. And then I think it has to do with like swelling. So you kind of cut off the blood supply and that connection to those nerves. And then there's a lot of scar tissue that builds up. I like to think of it as like 2 sides of a city, and they're connected. There's a river that runs through them, and they're connected by a bridge. And basically, when you have a spinal cord injury, I think of it as that bridge collapses, so nobody can get to the other side. And that's the signal from your brain down to your body, and from your body back to your brain, because it's sensation and motor works in different ways. And so it just can't get there anymore. They still work, like all that stuff theoretically should still function if you could reconnect that, but there's just no pathway.
See, everybody, you can tell if Travis is smart because he could put it in lamest terms. He can tell Travis is smart because he could put it in easy terms for everybody to understand.
Even a 9-year-old.
Even a 9-year-old could understand that.
It helps with me with my learning. I feel like if I can connect it to stuff. So
of course. How did you like feel when they told you like, man, like you're not gonna walk again, like, and you basically lost like half of your function? Like how'd that kind of like process? Because all I can do is kind of empathize with you. I can't really like sympathize because I've never.
Right. No,
Mhm.
that was it was definitely weird. I mean, to hear that,
Mm.
it was more so like I didn't believe the guy necessarily right then. So I was like, yeah, all right, like whatever. Because a lot of people throughout your life, they tell you that you can't do something, then you prove them wrong. And you're like, all
Mhm.
right, cool.
Mm.
So I was kind of like, like maybe I can't, maybe it is. I don't really know what all that entails. And then like further out I was like, all right, obviously like this whole walking thing probably isn't going to happen again, but like let's try to focus on what I can do, and
Mhm.
uh, and then just try to focus on that. Really, walking. I know a lot of people think when someone's paralyzed that like walking is the worst part, and obviously it's great to walk, but there's so many different things that go on with your body that make it so much harder, like pain and just other stuff.
Mm.
That's more of a worry than anything.
Okay.
Mm.
There's kind of a lot of function and psychological things that go kind of unnoticed to the normal person that we kind of take for granted.
Yeah.
Not until
Oh
like
yeah.
you're in that situation or either you're studying in school or classes that you really kind of get that door open to you where you're like, damn, it
Yeah.
takes a lot just to literally walk or move my hand or fingers or whatever.
Yeah. No, it is. That's one of the things actually I've told my mom that before. I just told her recently. Um, and it's like, that's one of the blessings of having an injury like this is there is no way that an able body or someone who doesn't have an injury, similar to where they lose function and have to regain it or never do, there's no way that that person will ever understand and have that
Mm.
appreciation for life on the level that we do. So it is almost a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It almost reinforces how what you talked about with your community being so close knit, being so encouraging, because they know what it's like to lose something. So they really want to treasure the people that have lost something. So that's what I really like liked when you told me about your community. I'm like, dang, that's such an uplifting community. I'm like,
And it's not like
Oh
something where
yeah.
you're just losing your car keys. You're literally losing like almost your life and you're like not able to walk anymore. Like it's tough.
Yeah. No, dude. And a lot of them, man, like they dropped a lot of stuff, like my grandparents, luckily both sides were retired, but I had both of them driving me before I could drive to and from Columbus on the weekends. And then we ended up getting an apartment up there, and my mom's parents were living with me, so they literally like they took time out of their house, out of their lives, and came in
Mm.
with lived with me there. They My grandparents, both of them, and my mom and my dad all split time down in Atlanta when I was down there for 6 weeks. They've come out and visited me out here. So,
That's beautiful, man. That's so
oh,
beautiful.
dude, yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Um,
Actually, just reminded me, I sent a group chat to my family the other day, a screenshot, and it was in April, because you know how Facebook will do like memory stuff.
mhm.
And back in 2015, which is when my injury happened, but my injury was in May. And in April, I posted on there that, man, like I'm loving my life, or I live a pretty damn good life, or something like that. And then I screenshot it and sent a text to my family, and I was like, this is still true. Like, I
Mm.
wouldn't been able to do any of this stuff. I
Mm.
wouldn't be out here in Arizona competing for a
yeah,
national championship.
it's kind of
Yeah.
nice how you kind of just flip the story and you're like, man, it kind of shows everybody like in in a way you kind of I really want to ask this question before I comment because um did it before the injury did it kind of show you like how grateful like you were like just to be able to walk and kind of gave you like a new insight on stuff like that
Yeah,
and kind
I
of like
mean,
what these people go through
you mean in reference to who?
to like quadriplegics and
So before my
Paralympians and
injury,
stuff like that.
dude, like I think this is the way with a lot of people, but before my injury, I didn't really know much about it. There was actually a very big family in my community growing up in my hometown in high school that had someone in their family become a quadriplegic, and I had no
Mhm.
idea until after I became a quadriplegic. So I really had no idea. Now I was around people who really love nature. Like I was lucky to have a soccer coach when I was younger that like hardcore emphasized every day he saw me. He would say, make sure you enjoy the little things. the trees in the sky, or the trees, the sky, the clouds, the birds, everything. So I was lucky enough to have that to an extent growing up in my life before I got injured. But then obviously since being injured, I have been able to appreciate it on another level.
Literally stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, for real, man. Every chance you can get to enjoy something, man, life is beautiful. It sucks at times. Don't get me wrong. It definitely does. But
do you feel like you're put in a position to where other people have to view you as like them being grateful, like they have to be grateful with life because they see what happened to you? Like, do you feel like you're put in a position like by default to kind of be that?
It happens a lot where there's this immediate I tell people somebody will start complaining about something. They're like, oh, I shouldn't complain. Like, you're dealing with all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, it's fine. Everybody complains about something. We're all dealing with our own shit. Yeah. So
do when that situation happens, do you feel like they kind of view you as less or anything like that?
No, I think what ends up happening is people they feel too bad too much. They assume that because somebody is disabled that they're living a bad life. And yeah, they might have to go through a lot of shit and their life might be harder in a lot of scenarios than other people. But like, there's a lot of people I know that are living a fantastic life and they wouldn't trade that shit for anything. So people kind of assume that immediately. That definitely does happen.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I remember me and Ernest were talking about this one time about how do paraplegics feel about, or let me rephrase my question. It's like, or my common question is like, me and Ernest we had a whole conversation about how people in society just see paraplegics as less than, or not less than, but like looking down. I don't know what's the right phrase to use, but I'll just say like looking down on. And I remember watching this just a little bit of Murderball, and there was an example where the guy went to go grocery shopping and he went to buy some groceries, and then someone stopped by to ask them if like they needed help to get in their car. But then he's like, if I needed help, then how did I get here? It's just like, they have like they can
almost
still
have
function.
like a narrow sense of what life is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of times that it comes from wanting to help, like a decent place. But a lot of people, they just don't think before they speak, so it makes them look like a dumbass. But like there was a guy on my old rugby team, and he said he had a guy come up to him, and he was transferring into the car, and he had to break his chair down, and he goes, oh man, you want me to put that in your trunk for you? And he's like, well, sure, if you're gonna follow me to my house, because how the hell am I supposed to get it out of the trunk, dude?
Dude, I didn't think that far.
That's funny.
Right? I know. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny.
I remember I was watching Rising Phoenix too, and I was sending pictures to Emmanuel.
Oh,
dude, those people were amazing. Dude, the dude was playing ping pong with his feet,
his mouth,
like his with his mouth, and the dude he was doing the archery with his feet. And the dude who was running the 60 in the London or 100 meter, he actually ran a faster time than some of the dudes who were able-bodied in the normal Olympics. I looked that up and I was just so amazed. I was like, I was amazed.
Yeah, no, dude, that movie is incredible. I've watched it several times actually. It's actually kind of crazy because I mean, I'm sure that you can see and feel their emotion while you're watching, but when they start talking about how when they get into their sport or they get into their chair, whatever, like it's just another realm, and that's like their place, and oh dude, I can watch that movie and I can literally just feel their emotion coming from them. And it makes some of that stuff, especially when the rugby one comes on, I get fucking jacked, dude. I'm ready to get out and get my chair and play.
Yeah.
The lady who was doing fencing, she had no arms and she had no legs and she had meningitis, and oh my goodness, that was insane. The way like she got so excited and hyped when she was winning, it was so relatable, because I was like, literally everything you worked for, you went through all this and you finally got to the big stage and you put out and you won. Oh, dude, that kind of like it hit me in a different spot because I was like, it wanted me to go outside and go like run a mile or something too.
Yeah. No, that's really how it is. And that's the thing, like, I guess when you compare, like Emmanuel, as you were kind of hinting at, as where like able-bodied people, because they see somebody that isn't fully functioning, they don't necessarily think of them as less, but they compare the disabled person to the able-bodied person,
Yeah,
and it shouldn't.
yeah.
It should more be like a comparison of person to person, not function to function necessarily. And so, like in that sense, everybody can relate to working their ass off for something, going through those trials and tribulations, and then finally getting to where you want to get to, and then just letting all that emotion go, man. Like, it's awesome.
But so when they didn't get the money for the no, my fault, your fault. You go.
Oh no, you can go. You're good.
Oh, I was gonna ask, can you pull up a pictures and some video for the audience so they can kind of see what we're talking about? Yeah. But when they didn't get the money for their next games, I was like, dude, like this is people's whole lives. Like you need to get this done.
Yeah. Like, 2 months ahead of time. They didn't even know until a month out from the Paralympics.
Man.
And they were just training for this one moment, and they finally didn't get anything. And it's kind of like related. Oh no, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
What? No, you're good. I was just gonna say what's crazy about it is I had no idea, and I was already injured in 2015. So like you would think that I would kind of be aware about it, but I didn't even have an idea that all of this just happened 6 years ago. So like it's still kind of crazy to think about.
Something that I wanted to add is that like, so kind of going back to what you said about my comment about how able-bodied people look at people with disabilities and compare. Okay, so here's what I think. So here's what I think. It's like when I was watching Rising Phoenix, it was almost more inspirational and entertaining to watch the Paralympics than the actual Olympics. Do you feel the same because you're in this state? Like you see it as more inspiring, or you see it more or less the same?
So I see them about the same, I think, because I know that every athlete out there was working their ass off, regardless. But I definitely can relate on another level watching the Paralympics and understanding that like it's more so than just working their ass off. Like we're all coming from this challenge that we had to overcome on top of that.
Can you pull up the picture?
Yeah, I'll pull up the pictures. Sure.
Dude, it was just so amazing watching, and I was like, dude, no way. Like imagine her mental toughness, or their mental toughness, just being able to do those things. And not only that, like, how do you think she feels like walking around, like, and people, I don't know, at the beginning, like, I mean, eventually she had to accept it, but how she feels like people walking around, like, looking at her a certain way because she literally has no arms, no legs, and she kind of has to walk with the metal and the robot. Well, not the robot hands, but like the plastic hands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dude, it was amazing. Like her mental toughness, I don't think I'll ever reach that at all in my life.
Yeah. You get so used to it, your disability. You get so used to your disability that you don't even think about anything. Like you view yourself as normal after a while. And so like there are times where you'll end up you'll have somebody look at you weird or something, and you're like, why are they? Oh, it's because of my disability. Like
the craziest one was the dude that had no arms and he was doing the backstroke. That one was crazy.
Oh yeah.
That one was insane. That one was insane.
Where is he?
You got to put para at the beginning.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Oh, but anyways, that's like, have you ever been in contact with any of these, like, have you ever talked to any of these other people too? Like that do these other sports as well? Oh, look, there's a Chris Aoki right there.
Yeah, Chuck.
Oh, Chuck. Yeah, my fault.
No, you're good. Chuck and Riley Bat.
He's gonna beat me up. Dude, that's great. Dude, that one was amazing. Have you ever talked to any of these people that participate in these other sports as well?
I've talked honestly. That's another thing. Like you have different variations of communities. We have our rugby community that we relate to more specifically because most of us are quadriplegics. But then you have the disabled community that you relate to, but then you also have the adaptive community, like the adaptive athlete community that you relate to. So like, dude, every single athlete, we have the biggest adaptive athletics program, I believe, in the world at U of A.
Yeah.
And every single athlete that I run into, we all like, even if it's the first time, we're, like, what's up, dude? How's your sport going? Like, what's your name? What do you play? All this kind of stuff. I don't know. We're already a family, so to speak. So
yeah.
I try to, I really enjoy trying to know everyone that's in our program, and then I'm trying to go out and go to different sports, tennis, basketball, track, like just all their different ones.
Do you, did you kind of get, well, not by default, but you kind of got introduced to this world? You kind of got into this world of rugby. Like, what are the options like for someone who gets disabled, I guess, in your place?
A lot of it you end up finding out through your physical therapist or occupational therapist.
Okay.
But there's stuff going on. That's the cool thing about like the proactive movements for everything is the disabled community is a part of that. And so like the funding is really the biggest one, to actually buy the equipment in order to do this stuff, but it's all growing. So there's something out there everywhere you go. Even like I tried sled hockey 5 months after I got injured because that was the only thing in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I should not have tried sled hockey because I was not ready for that. So I pretty much spent the entire practice on my lap because I couldn't sit myself up, and then I would fall left or right, wait for somebody to get me off the ice. It was fun though. Yeah, it's fun.
The sled hockey, was it like field hockey or was it kind of like on ice?
No, it's on ice. Yeah, you got a big metal. It's not like a chair, like a sled, so to
like
speak.
A sled, yeah. Can you pull a picture of that up real quick, Emmanuel? Dude, so they either like, if you have legs, they tape your legs like to the sled, and you have to use the hockey thing to push and slide. And dude, it was so sick. Like if I did this now, like I wouldn't even know like how I could do
that. Then there's some people that are double blades or single blades, and like you see them, they're all the way on their side, and then they'll just come right back up. Except when I did that, I just stayed on my side.
Oh, pull up the yeah. This one's great. That one's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
Are they as nice as the Canadian people that play hockey?
They go hard, man. I'm not sure.
They go hard. Oh, dude, when you check somebody, like, how does that work? Like, does it work just like hockey? Like,
I didn't get enough into sled hockey to like fully understand all of the specifics on that, but
let's get into wheelchair rugby because I feel like people like need to know this, dude. Okay, when I first met Travis, he's like, "Yo, just look at the wheelchair in the back, dude. That motherfucker was fucking heavy. The wheels on the side of the wheelchair were heavy, dude. Like, you gotta be some type of strong to be able to wheel that around at a certain type of speed, stop, kind of turn." And dude, you got to be some type of different.
Yeah, it's other than we've talked about it before because a lot of us have done wrestling, different variations of boxing.
Yeah,
like just really hard physically training sports, and rugby has to be up there at one of the top. Like you got to train your endurance, you got to train your power, your strength. It's football and rugby mixed with the speed and the play of basketball. So at least football, you get a break in between plays. Yeah. And you go to your huddle or your offense or defense is on or whatever. But in rugby, everything is constantly. The transition is the biggest part of the game. So you can't take a break.
You're constantly back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yep. Like soccer.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of answered my question with what I was going to ask about, like what kind of training and what kind of like mindset do you have to have? But it's just pretty similar to, basketball, football, just rugby, just everything is really similar.
Yeah. So the biggest part with that stuff is like basketball, you focus less on lifting and more on cardio and skill work, and football, a lot of that is your skills, obviously, in your footwork, but a lot of it's power too, depending on your position. And so we kind of got to train a little bit of everything. So it's been a lot of trial and error, just kind of playing around with what works, and then pretty much just busting your ass as much as possible.
What do you train the most, like when you're in the gym? Like, what do you have to train for specifically for your sport?
So I literally do a little bit of everything. My Mondays I'll do shoulders, so I'll have like heavier compound lifts of like presses and stuff, where I'll mix it up, and sometimes I'll go heavy low reps, sometimes I'll do mid range or high. Then I'll do a lot of like just isolating work, and then I'll do some cardio afterwards. Tuesday we're in our chair for like 2 hours practicing. Wednesday I'll do a chest and back, same kind of concept, heavier compound movements with a little bit of mix. Thursday practice, Friday cardio.
Saturday do you do like any explosive work, like explosive work with bands and like medicine balls and stuff like that?
Yeah, not a ton with bands. We do more of it in our chairs. So like we'll do like explosive sprints and stuff, and I'll throw a weight vest on or throw some sandbags on my chair and do like hill sprints, explosive work. But I do it with like the bench press or something. I'll modify it to where like I'll go a slow 3 seconds down and just explode as hard as I can up.
Like I haven't done this before, but I'm trying to like kind of make hill sprints with running synonymous with the wheelchair like sprints. And you have a vest on, dude? Like no chance.
No. What's great is I got really fat after I got injured, and I had no muscle. So I lost 40 pounds in 2 weeks after my injury, and it was all muscle. Nice. And so they're like, dude, just eat whatever you want. Your family's bringing you food. Like, you're injured, you're recovering, so you need a lot of calories. And I'm like, well, I mean, I can eat. So I did that, and I got really fat. So I got like 190 of just pure bowling ball fat in my chair. And then I dropped all the way back down to like 140, and now I sit at like 150. So that's a 40-pound difference. And I'll throw my 40-pound weight vest on, and I'm just like, how the hell did I weigh this much and expect to even be able to do anything?
Dude, no shot. Then you're trying to sprint and you're trying to compete at a high level with those other guys too.
No way. I couldn't even move. I couldn't pick the ball up off the ground.
Dude, it hit me different, like being 3 months out, and I'm like, bro, I used to sprint and like try to steal bases, and now I'm just sitting here like watching movies the whole day. Like, I don't know if I want to do that work again.
Oh, we have a dog approaching.
Oh, hi.
Dude, such a cute dog.
You gotta say hi. You climbed up on my lap.
Shy.
Yeah. He's been on me. He wants me to play with him.
Yeah. So I know we have like those different classifications in wheelchair rugby. It goes from 0.5 all the way up to 3. And so the 3 is the 3. Most able body, 3.5, and the 3.5 is the most able body, which means they have more function for everybody at home.
Yeah. The classes are based off your neurological function. And it's a whole, to put it as simply as possible, it involves how much trunk you have, how much hand function you have, and how much upper body function you have in your arms and chest.
Okay. What would you be classified as?
I'm a 1.5. So
1.5.
I don't have full triceps on either side. I have a little bit of back missing on both sides. And so because I don't have full upper body and wrist function, that's typically what a 2 is. They have no hands, but they have full tricep, bicep, and back. And so I'm right below that. And then 0.5, which is one of my roommates, he is just biceps and shoulders and like just mainly upper back.
So is there somebody who's that can like float through classifications? They could also classify like as a 1.5 and a 2.
Yeah, that actually happens a lot.
Really?
There's a lot of talk in our sport on trying to dial the classification system in, because at the end of the day, they grade your neurological function, but everyone's so different. And then they try to watch you play and make the best decision that they can. That there's some people that'll be in a class that's at the higher end of the function. And then there's some people that enter a class that are all the way at the bottom, and so then they're having to fight function to compete against everyone in their class, not even just like actual physicality.
So are you able to are you able to have full function of your hands or no?
No,
No.
nope.
Hmm.
They do. So like this, that's how my hands are naturally. There's this thing called tenodesis. So when I raise my wrist up, it closes my hands. Actually, it'll happen to your guys' hands too if you try it. Just relax and then see how your fingers kind of curl, and then over
That was so
time,
sick.
ours get they get tighter and tighter, and then you learn to just use them to do everyday function stuff.
Mm.
Interesting.
That's so interesting. That's super interesting.
Something we talked about off camera too is about how you had to have like water to act as sweat for you.
Yeah. Can
Yeah.
you talk about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are the other like things that came along with your injury as well? Not just you not being able to have full function anymore.
Man, yeah. So really, I think the two biggest ones would be that you don't realize how inaccessible a lot of places are until you go somewhere and you're like, where the hell is the ramp? You got to push it. Feels like a mile down the road to get up on it, or if you have somebody with you, they can bump you up. But the other thing was just the temperature regulation. I run really hot, and rugby, for whatever reason, I guess because it's so physically demanding, I just get insanely hot. So I carry around a spray bottle because I can't sweat because of my injury. It's kind of weird how it ends up working. My theory is that in order to get input, your body normally receives input from your skin or from something that you're hot, and then it signals everything. And so our signal is broken. That bridge is collapsed, so it's not getting there. And I think that has something to do with it. But so I carry a bottle around that's filled with water, and I spray myself when I get hot, and then it kind of helps act as like that sweating mechanism.
That's really interesting. Like, I would have never thought that would be an actual thing until I talked to you.
Yeah, many people even it's more. I think it's a higher level injury thing too, because a lot of times spinal cord injuries, they'll sweat above the level of their injury. But I guess for whatever reason with quadriplegics, their injury level is so high, it's kind of hit or miss. But there's a lot of the basketball players and tennis players. I'll carry around the sprayer, and they're like, "Hey, why do you have that?" And I'll just be like, "Oh, like I can't temperature regulate. I get really hot, especially in Arizona, so I got to spray myself." They're like, "Really?"
You're like, mind your own business, bro. Nobody talk to you. Mind your own business.
Well, the funny thing is I started bringing it to my brother's baseball games in the summer back in Ohio, and some of the little kids would come up and they're like, "What is that?" And then I would ask me to spray them, and I would spray them. And then one of the girls, other family, they got one, and they started bringing it. And then my dad and my sister, they'll have like squirt water wars or whatever water.
Yo, that's low-key a pretty good invention though. Like if you're hot, just like spray yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, like just in general too.
Bro, you should make you should do wheelchair mods, bro. Like a car mod, like do wheelchair mods. Like you gotta put like a fan right here with the squirting water bottle that blows mist on you.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. Okay.
Yeah,
okay, so this question just popped in my head. Like when you like when you guys fight, like when two people fight, like how does that work? Like how would that work? Like when you guys fight?
So I mean, it depends.
Like you guys like throwing hands? Like are you just like you're like hold up, let me you're like hold up, let me even get a fish, and like you start swinging or what?
Oh yeah, it's just straight If we're throwing punches, it's haymakers. We're probably falling out of our chair afterwards. So.
Dude.
Or we'll try to grab their chair, and then flip them out. That's kind of yeah.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, have you ever got boxing?
Wheelchair boxing?
Wheelchair boxing is the thing?
You got to pull that up. You have to pull that up.
Wheelchair boxing.
I think it's higher functioning people, but they pretty much just square up next to each other and then just trade blows. Like,
dude, that's so sick.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing that?
Oh man, my buddy's the one that texted me. He sent in the group chat. He goes, "Dude, Travis, you got to do this."
Oh shit, dude, pull a video.
Right.
Here we go. Starting here.
Yep.
Say, fellas, fight on.
Dude, this is some country ass shit you find in Ohio. Yo, is this what they're doing in Ohio, bro?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's the hell yeah. You want it? Let's get it. Let's work.
Oh, they have people hold them too.
Oh, that's
Right?
so.
Oh yeah, because your chair's going over if not.
Okay.
Oh, dude, he knocked me out easy. There's no shot.
Dude, they
He
got some
knocked
good
me out
heavyweights.
easy. That's so dope.
That's a hell of a core workout though.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That dude's jacked in the left chair with the braids.
Definitely.
That dude's jacked.
Oh, got him.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, weave. Ah.
Dude, they
They do-
get down. Okay.
And back in, I guess it's not quite Cincinnati, but it's close to Cincinnati. They did a like a bar crawl, except it was like 40 bars all around the state of Ohio and in the Southwest mostly area, and they all took 2 employees, or they would pay somebody and they would train for like 2 months, and then they came down and then they had this big ass boxing tournament, and then they have alcohol and food trucks set up, and then you go and you just get hammered and watch these different breweries compete against each other. It was nuts.
Oh, bro,
My
that
uncle and I
sounds
went
like
down.
so much fun.
That does
That
sound
sounds like
fun.
a hella good time.
It
Have
was
you
awesome.
have you like considered like actually like going to practice and like doing this?
I would love doing it. I haven't actually considered it, but I wouldn't mind, especially some of the other guys in our league. You know, you got some beef
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
Just, all right, square it up.
The guy on your team, you're like, got one. You're like, got one. You're like, yo, put on some
Yeah.
gloves real quick. I think
Right,
you're good
come
on
on.
the video. But
Yeah.
that's so sick.
Yeah, that is pretty dope.
Dude, if you like a completely random question too, like we were talking about this, like me and Emmanuel texting, like if you like could you like if they strap like rockets like to your chair, like would you want that? Like would you be cool with that? Like if it was like America's Got Talent, they strapped rockets to your
know.
chair, would you be dope with
I'd
that?
be down to try it, but I feel like I would need a different chair. I get going more than like 5 miles an hour. This thing feels like it's gonna fall apart. So
Oh.
I'm gonna need a little different chair to try that out in. My cousin was pushing me in Vegas one time, and we were already hammered, and he was sprinting through the casinos, you know. And I'm like, whoa, hold on,
You're like,
on.
chill.
He forgot that I didn't have balance, you know. So I'm like, turn left, and he just cuts hard left, and I just went straight out the side of the chair. So,
did you throw up after
was
that? You fell on the floor.
No,
like,
no.
Oh,
No. Some people were right there. They got me back in, then we went and started gambling again. So.
Are you like a blackout guy? Are you a baby? Or do you baby your drinks?
No, I'm the perfect in between.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Nice.
I black out a couple of times. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't, but I'd make sure that doesn't happen in Vegas because I don't trust anybody there.
Yeah, make a hangover.
But yeah, I think hangovers are just not even a thing in Vegas. Something in the air.
Oh, dude, it has to be.
Yeah.
Dude, do you drink electrolytes or electrolytes like right before? I mix one in before, then I mix one in like midday just so I don't.
Oh, really?
So nothing happens.
Yeah, I mean, I do like water, and I might buy a Gatorade, but pretty much we're just going with the flow. Like I know that when we go to Vegas, I'm trashing my body for like 4 days straight. So.
What do you like playing in the casino?
Craps.
Oh, easy.
Craps is my go-to, dude. I won $1,000 off $20.
Wow.
Did you leave? Did you leave or did you bet the grand?
No, I ended up leaving, but it was it was a whole night, man. It was fucking awesome, dude. The Las Vegas Knights were playing in the postseason when we were there, and it was a home game. So the game was on in the casinos, and we were in New York, and it was sold out. Like, dude, everywhere was fucking packed. They had a DJ in the middle, and we were in there jamming. Some random dude was gambling with us, and my cousin and I are just like throw 500 down, you know, throw 200 down. And we would miss some, but then we would hit it, you know, and go up big. Dude, it was insane. And then at one point, so the team ended up winning. The Las Vegas team ended up winning, and the crowd was just going nuts in the casino. And they put on Journey, and the whole casino, dude, the DJ just shut the Journey off right at the chorus, and the whole casino was finishing it out singing, and it was fucking awesome, man.
Dude, that sounds fun.
That's fun.
So
yeah,
fun.
dude. It was cool.
Dude, I tell this story all the time, but there was in college there There's a dude, he jumped off the porch into like a pile of beer cans and he ended up like breaking his collarbone. And so we had a
Damn.
baseball house in college in
Oh,
at
yeah.
Bethany. That man was crazy. And we had another dude. He was I think it was somebody else's birthday, but he was sliding down the stairs and the stairs were like super steep. And his hands hit the stairs like full palm, and he flipped over and he broke his nose.
Oh, damn. We used to have
Those are the
guy's
best
house.
memories and the best parties. Honestly, I'm never gonna forget that.
yeah.
Like, I know it was something
Oh, yeah.
stupid, but like I'm never gonna forget that. Like,
Yep.
that was so fun.
We had my buddies ended up getting a 4-bedroom house, and one of them one night got super hammered and fell down the stairs and put his head through the wall. And so when we came back in, dude, there was just a giant hole in the wall sitting at the bottom of the steps for like a couple of months.
Dude, it would have been funny if you just found him there, like head in the wall, and he's asleep.
Yeah, just stop. Yeah.
You'd have been like, dude, what's wrong? You okay?
Like, oh.
You'd been like, oh.
Oh, what? Hello?
Oh,
Yeah, you
dude,
good?
that's crazy.
He went around one night and he was so hammered. He's like, "Hey, how many push-ups do you think I can do?" And they would tell him, and then he would get down and start doing as many push-ups. Dude, he was covered in sweat. He had his shirt off. It was awesome, man. We used to get rowdy over there.
Dude, me before a date. Yeah, let's see how many push-ups I can do.
I get that pump on.
Yo, high key, we all do that. Any guy
Oh, yeah.
can't lie.
Oh, yeah.
But
we
before
had
a
to get that
party,
pump.
like me and homies would just chill in the dorm, and we'd just be like hammering out push-ups real quick
Right?
before we go to a party.
You can't hammer too much though, because then you won't get sweaty.
Oh yeah, dude, it's nasty. Then the
Mm.
cologne drips off and the deodorant
Yep.
doesn't last anymore, and it's just nasty. I don't know, dude. There were a lot of blonde girls at college. I don't know if I'm a fan, but not like when that's the only option. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, need a little variety.
Yeah, I need a little variety. I need a little Asians in my life.
Some melanin.
Arizona's got all kinds
Shout
of
out Diego. Koreans. Dude,
Yeah, Arizona's got every walk of life out here.
that's why you like it so much here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain about that.
Have you been to Phoenix yet?
Just a couple of times.
Just a
I
couple
haven't
of
been up
times.
there to party or anything. Yeah.
Where'd you go in Phoenix?
We just went up to play rugby a couple of times, and actually, before I even came out here for school, my stepmom's family had like a little timeshare thing up in Scottsdale,
Mm-hmm.
so we did that.
It's so nice in Scottsdale. It's like all green
Wow.
and water.
Yeah.
Then you come down to Tucson, and it's just like straight dirt and Palo
Yeah.
Verdes everywhere.
Right?
It's so bad.
Yeah, Scottsdale's got a lot of money.
Scottsdale has too much money that they don't want to share. It's
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah, it's all like
Dude.
green.
All that green, bro. All that green. And I know like there's no homeless people like Emmanuel, like there's homeless people, like you've seen homeless people, but down here there's a lot. Like there's a ton. There's
Mm.
homeless
Yeah.
people downtown, like just camping out, like it's free and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, unless you experience it, like you really don't know what it's like, honestly.
Yeah.
I had like a couple more questions. Like, do you feel like there's like about like your injury and like being a quadriplegic and stuff like that? Do you feel like there's like societal like expectation of you like to be this certain type of way and like this person?
Well, I think currently the societal expectation is that quadriplegics don't or aren't a productive member of society. So I'm trying to prove that wrong.
Mm.
You know, get out, make a name. Like the biggest thing is exposure. You know, the more people that see people in wheelchairs out doing things, the more normal it becomes, and then might change a little bit. Plus, it's better for the community to get out and do stuff instead of sitting at home doing nothing.
That is
Right.
true.
This
'Cause
might
it's almost
sound
like-
Mentally, physically.
So I was gonna ask, like, this might sound like a corny question, but are there any advantages that you have that other people see as disadvantages?
I mean, parking. That's not a bad one.
True.
But it depends on where you go, because if you go to, like a hospital, there's always old people that are just fill the handicap spots, so then you can't ever find a spot. But no,
True, that's true.
parking's not a bad one. We get like, it's gonna sound kind of whatever, but like people are generally, like teachers especially, are generally more understanding of when shit happens to us than say, just another student.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, dude, like I had some issues, whatever. They're like, oh, you need a couple extensions. Like, yeah, all right, cool. But if like another student goes up and they're like, I had some shit happen. They're like, yeah, so did 10 other people. Get in line, like.
Dude, that's why the COVID thing, I milked it, bro. I milked it so much. When everything was on Zoom, I milked it. I was just at baseball and I was like, you know what? Like the Wi-Fi wasn't working in my dorm. Like I can't turn my assignments in. I'm sorry. And they'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And they kind of can't say no.
Right? Yeah, they can't, because it was new for everybody at that point.
And they know we're bullshitting too. It's not even funny.
It's a secret. It's a secret.
They're like, really, like a minute before the assignments due, like all of a sudden your Wi-Fi doesn't work.
Yeah. There's another one too that's like I don't know, it kind of jumps into what I want to do for research eventually.
Mhm.
But it's called Autonomic Dysreflexia. And
Okay.
there's been a lot of discussion between me and some of my one roommate and some people I know. And we're basically, it's like something's going on below your level of injury, and your body just kind of sets off all these alarms to try to tell you, hey, something's going on. Like you need to investigate, see what it is, because we don't know if it's okay or not.
Yeah.
So like I could be sitting on my balls or something, and like nobody wants to do that. So yeah, so it could be that, or like I could break my toe or something. So but like part of what it does is it puts your body in that fight mode, so like your sympathetic nervous system just goes crazy. So it starts spiking your blood pressure. You'll get like goosebumps and stuff, and get these weird cold chills, but you also get like unlimited energy. So it's like you get a shot of adrenaline. So like I can do twice as much while that's happening that I can when I'm not using it. But the issue is it's a dangerous thing, and they tell you to stay away from it when you're in the hospital, because you can have a stroke because your blood pressure just keeps rising and rising and rising, and then you can hemorrhage. So obviously that's not good. But there's got to be some kind of physiological benefits that we can learn from it, and that's what I want to do for research. So I guess you could say it's a benefit for my injury, but then again, we have blood pressure issues and all these different issues, temperature regulation to begin with. So does it just put us back to normal, or does it put us above normal?
I suppose for the research, you just have to do a lot of blood work and and you kind of have to do a lot of distinctions, especially with, let's say, like base and appearance. Like what are kind of like some of the signs that you can literally look and detect it about it, especially like the chills and stuff like that. But you don't really get into the real meaty stuff and of the why until you do a bunch of blood work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have a lot of theories that I've luckily gained through my self experience. Like I'm just going to be the research person. I'm going to be the one doing it on myself, and then try to have a team come in and like we work together. But like I've asked a lot of my professors different questions, so I have a lot of theories that I want to test anyway. That are sort of proven correct up to this point.
I really like that because I feel that introspection kind of gives you more knowledge than a lot of people too, especially being in that situation. I feel like that's where the best work comes from too, because nobody can tell you what you're feeling besides you. And you're like, if I feel this, like there's no chance, like other people, there's billions of people on this planet, there's no way that somebody else doesn't feel the same way.
Yep.
And even then, like when you break it down, like, and you describe it, it's kind of like more so putting it in terms of where it sounds educated and other people can digest it.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing. Not even everybody gets it either. So it's weird. Like I'll have it sometimes. Like if you pull the hair on my legs, I'll get it. But I also ripped my big toenail off one time and didn't have a clue. So it's weird how inconsistent it is.
Interesting.
What are some of your theories that you're thinking about right now? Like
so one of the theories is that like why it ends up running your body to be able to do more is that it just kind of what's the saying where we move the troops, like get all the troops
signals like a
together.
fight or flight thing.
Yeah, so and it just uses everything that you have in your body at that moment to try to just, like get you through whatever's going on. So if you're using it while you're exercising, you're just running through your nutrients, your sugar, your all this different kinds of stuff. Because when you come off of it, there's this massive crash.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, you get like low blood sugar
lost
feelings.
and What's that state called?
The state of while you're actually going through it it's just autonomic dysreflexia, like as a whole. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you feel like with like your introspection, you can kind of make like more distinctions within autonomic dysreflexia?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I'm trying to educate myself as much as possible on everything, but I also want a team of people who specialize in different things, like a chemist or a physiologist or somebody who really knows their specific area. And then we all kind of come together and throw different input from everything and just learn from everything. Because it's a whole, it literally sends your entire body, so it's got to be a little bit of everything.
Do you feel like then when you have so many smart people, to be some type of ego that prevents you from getting that information?
Unfortunately, I think that does happen in science. I would try to wean out, I want to try to form the team and do my best with kind of like interviewing and stuff like that, almost like hiring. I haven't figured it all out yet. But no, it definitely does happen to where scientists disagree and, they get hard-headed, they get stubborn.
Of course.
See, I think it was interesting too that we had a conversation off camera about how like, in a way, you get the best of both worlds with sciences, because like before, like you knew a lot about, you're really interested in the body and the science of how that works, for someone who's not a paraplegic. But now that you are a paraplegic, you have both kind of like both information as your arsenal in a way. So I think it's pretty dope.
Yeah. Actually, quadriplegic is the correct term.
Oh yeah, my bad. I use paraplegic.
No, it's okay. Actually, a lot of people.
I was thinking of a song lyric.
No, you're okay. A lot of people think just because somebody can move their arms, they think that they're a para. But I think it more so has to do with where your initial spinal cord injury is.
Okay, thanks for educating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like with that, like, is there certain like etiquette and like understanding like you want to kind of leave the audience with, or even kind of leave us? Like, is there certain type of etiquette, like absolutely like don't ask this question or do ask this question, or kind of like don't treat us like we're less than, or some stuff like that?
Yeah. So 2 main rules would be everybody is different. So some people are sensitive about stuff, some people aren't. And you got to be leery. You can't, like, I'm the kind of guy that would just say whatever to anybody, and you can't do that sometimes. But the second thing kind of helps along with the first thing, and it's just talk to people with disabilities like they're a normal person. Oftentimes that whole don't judge a book by its cover thing comes into play. You might see somebody that's disabled but that dude might be a genius, and you don't know, and you think because he looks a certain way that he is a certain way. And so yeah, you just got to treat everybody, as a normal person.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like Stephen Hawking, that man's a genius.
Yep. Yeah, unbelievably smart. There's a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this blind reacts? Let's get this going. I know we reacted to like 2 videos already, but let's just get this. Let's just get this
all good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
No, but I think I know who this is. Aaron?
Yep, Aaron Wheels.
Aaron Wheels?
Yeah.
Dude, that's badass.
Yeah,
so dope.
That is a bad man.
That's so dope. Yeah, but it's just crazy to see that, like, even in that state, you can just do anything. Like, do you think you could ever see yourself doing something like this?
Yeah.
Like, you push yourself?
I don't know about that. I would try it, but that you got to be like Evel Knievel crazy to try some shit like that. So
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
do it again.
Dude, one little thing goes wrong and you're done.
Boom.
Yeah, dude. Imagine that guy doesn't hit that flip right and he lands straight on his.
Oh.
That's how people get hurt. They're on dirt bikes and they're doing flips. And, like, I don't know about that.
Or he just hits the front of the ramp. He hits it. The wheel gets stuck. He flips over. Broken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then another thing is broken.
We should call the Jackass guys. I bet they would.
Dude, Johnny Knoxville would totally do that. Have you seen the newest one, the Jackass Forever?
No, I need to. Chris said it was really good, but
there's a lot of penis in it. I'll just tell you that. There's too much for my liking.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
All right, we gotta react. We gotta wrap it up.
Wrap it up then.
All right, boys. I'm sorry. I know this was a great conversation with Mr. Baker, Ernest, and Emmanuel, but we have to wrap it up. We're running out of time, and his iPad's at 5%. So you already know the drill. You can follow me on Instagram @_E Armenta. You can follow my lifting page at IV Lifts, and please follow the Blindfold Off podcast page at Blindfold Off Podcast on Instagram. And you could follow Emmanuel at
Emmanuel LKD on Instagram and all other social platforms.
Listen to his new album. Grab his merch.
Appreciate it, man.
Check out Carlos Guzman's merch. Live, love it. And where can the people contact you? And then you have no socials. Besides, where can the people contact you? Send you great letters, send you thank yous, send you we loved having you on, send you something nice. Where can the people contact you?
I mean, I do Facebook, so you guys can send me a request out there. But just keep up to date with U of A Adaptive Athletics, U of A Wheelchair Rugby. Oscar Mike just posted some stuff from this last nationals on YouTube. That's at the USWRA YouTube page. And then the USA Low Point team, I just recently made the practice squad. So you can follow on
Let's go.
The same website too. So yeah, man, cutting 6 more people here in 2 months. We got an international tournament we play. So
that sounds like fun.
Oh, that's exciting, man.
That is exciting.
That's really exciting.
Happy for you. Yeah, let's go. Before we go, follow the Patreon. Donate, please donate. It gives us a lot of motivation and encouragement to keep this going, and it shows us that you guys like our content. So please donate to our Patreon. It should be live, really, really live by this time. So please donate. And without further ado, that's going to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Ernest Armenta.
And I'm your host, Emmanuel LKD.
And we loved having Travis Baker on. Travis, you want to leave the people with anything else?
That's it, man. This was a lot of fun. This is a great time. I think everybody should check out your podcast.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you. I'm so glad Travis decided to come on, and you decided to share a whole new world and a lot of knowledge and insight with the people, and especially us. We learned a lot today. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Travis.
Oh yeah, thank you. All right. Again.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.